Howdy, and welcome to day 3 of working with my wild Mustang, who is now known as Julius. So this was a very low stress day for Julius. I kind of just brought him out to hang out with people. I had friends bring their horses over to have a massage therapist come work on her horses. So we hung out together that afternoon, and he just got to come out, be haltered, and hang out around people and be a part of the commotion. And he was so good. He was very relaxed, just so happy to hang out. As you can see, I'm sitting up there on that fence, and he's just kind of chilling below me. He's still got his stripes of roll-on fly-off from the day before too. So you can see how comfortable he is just being handled by different people and just being part of the chaos that's going around. It's so important to just get these horses out, get them used to just normal stuff going on. That's a huge part of their training process, is just expecting them to be a normal horse and behave in just any random situation.
Watch out.
So later on, it got a little bit hot, and after most of the commotion was done with, I decided it was a good time to start introducing water. I start with kind of like a gentle mist on his feet. And at first he's kind of spooked, he doesn't know what's going on, and the hose gets caught on his feet, and he's just kind of like, what the heck is this? But as soon as he stands still, I don't want to reward that, so I just gave him a little bump with the lead rope until he stopped pawing. But as soon as he stands still and kind of investigates rather than just moving away from it, I took that hose away and gave him a little bit of a reward. See, he's a little bit uncomfortable right there, so I just hold on, move it around a little bit until he gets a little bit more relaxed with it. And if he wants to investigate it, I'll just let him investigate it with his nose like that. Just kind of let it be a good experience. If he's still kind of like, what the heck? What's going on? I'm going to keep it on his legs. I'm not going to push him much further. And then when he stands good like that, see, I take it away as a little reward. And you could see right as I took it away, he's kind of like, hey, that wasn't so bad. So I just go ahead and try his neck, his chest. I'm just trying to get this process done quickly. Just get a little bit of quick exposure done to this water experience. And he's taking to it really well. A lot of Mustangs, you'll have to start with, well, he just wasn't sure about it on his legs right there. But a lot of Mustangs, you'll have to start with much babier steps. And if he gets spooked, you'll see I put my left hand up to kind of block him from coming into my space. If he tries to push on me, I'm going to push back a little bit, just kind of remind him that it's not okay to walk all over me if he gets a little bit scared. So just gentle corrections there. There, he's doing really nice, but he starts to move off. And it wasn't really a scared move off. He just kind of got bored and just kind of wanted to leave. So I corrected him, and now he's standing nice and still. Well, he was. There we go. That's really nice. I like that a lot. So I let him investigate. He's kind of like, what the heck? That feels funny. But as soon as he does better, I lower that and go back to a comfy spot for him. So at this point, he's gotten a little bit distracted by the commotion. Like I said, there was a lot going on that day. So if he tries to take a step away from me, he's not really scared of this water anymore. But if he tries to take a step away from me, I'm going to bump him back to me. Or if he tries to come into my space, I'm going to bump him away from me. See, just like that. I block him first, and then if he keeps coming, I start pushing on him, reminding him that, hey, I know you're antsy, I know you're kind of bored, you kind of don't want to do this right now, you don't really want to participate, but it's still not okay to kind of run all over me. So I just kind of hold there until he's being nice and still and steady, and then I'll take it away for a little bit. Fiddled with the pressure a little bit too, kind of seeing what he would do if I put some more pressure on. He's really not too engaged, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It means he's not so much worried about this water that he has to be super fixated on it, but it's also not great that he's not paying attention to me. He's just a baby. So the first few days of working with him, he definitely had a lot of baby brain. That's pretty typical for the young Mustangs. They've kind of got a low attention span. You kind of have to take it at their pace. Right now I'm almost ripping the Band-Aid off. I'm just getting that hose all over him, making it not as bad as he thinks it is, and just doing it quick and dirty. I'm not going to go in there and try and get a whole spa day done the first day. So when he's good, I felt like he'd gotten a solid start on that side. So I go ahead and get to work on the other side. And he's being pushier than I would like. He's being distracted. He's moving around a lot. But, he's had a long few days. So this ended up being a really, really short day for him. He just got to hang out, just got to be a horse around everything that was going on, which is super important for their training. And then he got a couple new exposures today. So he got his first bath. And a little bit, I worked on trailer loading with him, and he did really well for that as well. So it's also important to remember that each side should be approached as if he's never done it before. So just because I got the water all over him on that left side of his body doesn't mean that he's going to be perfectly fine with it on that right side of his body right away. And he's doing pretty good, mostly because he's fixated on the mares and what's going on further in that pasture. But I did just started his legs, his front legs, and he was fine with it. I started with the shoulder, and he was fine with it. Then did some of the back, he was fine with it, and then started working on that hip and that hind leg so that I could just get as much done as I could without a fuss, and then let it be done for that day. So here he kind of did a big no-no, and he wasn't trying to be rude, he just kind of forgot about me and lost attention, and then he got caught up in the hose, which, I kind of ignored because I knew he wasn't going to blow up or put me in harm's way. I could, he just kind of got himself a little bit stuck and then worked it out. But that moving that hip towards me is a big no-no. That's a safety issue. He wasn't doing it to be rude. He wasn't threatening to kick or anything like that. But he needs to be paying attention to where I am, and he's not just allowed to move his hip over towards me like that. So you could see I kind of poked it away the best I could. Of course, he got stuck on that hose, and now he's standing on it because he's just a giant total goofball of a horse. He's truly super, super sweet. He's just got a little bit of baby brain he's got to work through. So he's just got to learn the rules, and he doesn't know them yet. So I'm going to start out by correcting him gently at first. But I'm not going to treat him differently because he's a wild Mustang. He still needs to learn not to come over the top of me. See how I'm blocking him, letting him process, but blocking him so he can't process all over the top of me. He's got to learn eventually. And it's best to start implementing manners as soon as you can. You don't have to get onto them super aggressively, but small corrections, and if they need it, work up from there. But I think he did learn a good deal from this lesson today, and I very quickly in the coming days started working on ground manners because he was starting to get a little too comfortable around me. Like I said, day 2, I saw a huge change in him. That was the day he really decided that being domestic wasn't too bad. So day 3 was also awesome progress. And day 3 was the day that we were pretty sure what to call his color. So this isn't a technical term, but he is a ghost paint, meaning that he is a paint with his colored areas being gray. But his gray is so advanced that it blends in with the white of his non-painted areas. So he pretty much looks white all over, but when you get him wet, his hair becomes kind of translucent. So the paint areas that are white, you can kind of tell where his pink skin is. But the paint areas that are gray, you can see where his dark skin is. So he can tell that his pattern is a Sabino-like pattern. If you imagine all that dark skin there as actual colored hair, you could tell that he has a Sabino-like paint pattern. But he is so very gray that he just looks white all over. So this was a very cool milestone for Julius. After I hosed him off, I could tell he was starting to think about wanting to lay down and roll. And part of the way I teach the lay down as a trick is to kind of suggest it and reward the horse for thinking about doing it on their own. So you can watch my full lay down tutorial series. I don't always do it quite like this, but I'm just rewarding him when I could tell he's starting to think about going down for a roll, and I'm suggesting it with that tap on the belly cue there. See, you can see right there he's kind of decided, mostly on his own, that he's ready to drop and roll. So I just keep suggesting, lowering my body language, lowering my energy, and then he just goes right down for it. So he definitely, even though, you know, it's obviously not a finished trick at that point, he definitely blew me away, because 3 days out of the wild, he's like trusting enough to put himself in that vulnerable position and lay down right next to me, you know. And I don't know if my suggesting it helped or not, or if he would have done it anyways, but definitely a cool milestone.
Rory, don't be mean.
It's Tuxie you gotta worry about.
Tuxie, don't be mean. He'll be mean back, I promise.
He's laying down right now. Freya!
Freya, get. Good boy.
Well, he's not clean now.
No, he's not. I'll probably bathe him later this afternoon.
Nice.
Lay down, day 3.
So here we are with the other new experience for the day. I introduced him to my friend's gooseneck trailer, you can kind of see back there, but it had a much taller drop to it, and he was not about stepping 2 feet off the ground to get in. So I figured I'd start him off with a little bit of an easier trailer, which this is the one I actually took him home in. That's my trailer. And I just kind of sit there. He thought about getting in and worked him side to side a little bit, trying to get his feet to open up a little bit. Usually when you approach it like it's no big deal, like it's just another thing, they come around pretty quick. He was kind of wanting to brace, so I just zigzag a little bit, trying to get him kind of off balance a little bit. Just help unlock his feet, get him thinking about going in, and there he goes. So just comes right in, and as soon as he tries, you can see I let go of the pressure on that lead rope and made it nice and relaxing and rewarding, and made it not a big deal at all. He was a little bit sticky, but I was able to get him unstuck, get him hopped in, love on him, and then I'm gonna go ahead and back him right out. So the way I do this is gently, slowly. He hasn't really learned the backup yet, really as groundwork, so I just take it slow, and you can't really see there, but I tell him step. He doesn't know what that means yet, but over time he'll associate that with knowing that the edge of the trailer is near and knowing where to put his feet, and that can reduce a lot of the anxiety with trailer loading. So I definitely load horses up a couple times at least the very first time hopping into the trailer, because that approach and the retreat
I got this,
and doing it a few times really builds their confidence. By that second time he had a whole lot of confidence with it, so I went ahead and ended on that note. But overall, he had a really successful day 3.
That's funny.
Even though it was super stress-free, sometimes those are the days where they learn the most. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video and found it informational. Be sure to leave a like and a comment, because those really help my channel out. And make sure you subscribe to follow more Julius training videos. Thank you guys.